So hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I want to talk about what you go through when you've been in a toxic relationship and who you are coming out of that toxic relationship. So I do a lot of life coach work. And so a lot of life coaching, a lot of wellness coaching, male empowerment coaching. And I was working with this one woman, and I don't think she realized that the person who was talking was, yes, it was her in terms of that is her body, that is her identification, physically, that is who she is. But I don't think she had realized how much her mind had been distorted by the relationship that she was in, that wasn't the person I was talking to, wasn't so much her as it was the person that she had become because of who she was in a relationship with. And the person who was talking was the person who was shaped by that person that she was in a relationship with. In other words, the guy that she was with, because she was in that toxic relationship, she was shaped so much by that relationship that person talking was the person who was created because of the toxic nature of the relationship, not the person who went into the relationship. I hope I'm making sense to you all, right? So the person who went into the relationship is a different person who came out of the relationship. And the person who came out of the relationship was shaped not in a good way, not in a good way, by the toxic nature of what that relationship had become. Obviously, it didn't start off as toxic, but because she was in that toxic relationship for so long, she had become toxic because of the relationship. And so this person was bitter, angry, upset, called herself a lot of derogatory terms to describe and explain who she is as a person. And then when I got into conversations with her about who she was before that, you realize there were two different people. Now, as we get older, we grow, that stuff happens. But this was a completely different person, a person shaped by years and years of abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, verbal abuse. This was a person who was shaped by that, had gone through it. And now she was strong enough to get over it, to get through it, to push past it. But the consequences of staying in a toxic relationship for so long was that she herself had embraced, not necessarily willingly, but in a lot of ways had embraced the toxic nature of the relationship. And then she herself, in many ways, had become toxic, very negative in her mindset, very negative in the way she looks at certain things, and very derogatory in terms of the ways she would talk about herself and explain herself. And I was sitting there. Now, I've been doing life coaching for many, many, many years, since, geez, I mean, I guess you could say officially for the last almost 12 years now. But even before that, before I officially got into it, I was always, doing it. And sometimes you could do something, you could watch a movie like 10 times, and every time you see it, you see something new. And that's what I had seen. Like, I knew this. I knew this could happen. Being a life coach, I knew this. Just living life, being around family, being around friends, me also going through situations. I knew this was possible. But I think it hit different. It hit real different when I was talking to this person and I realized, wow, look at who she had become. And she was this way. She had become this because that's how she was shaped because of the abuse and the bad relationship. Folks, no, she's trying to figure out who she is, where she's going to go. And I'm assisting, obviously, I'm working with this person to help them. So I'll never call names when I do stuff like this. And so, for obviously for privacy reasons, but I'm sharing because I want you to know that the longer you stay in a toxic relationship, the higher the chances that you also become what you're going through, because that is your environment. You exist in an environment of abuse. It could be verbal, it could be physical, mental, whatever type of abuse. You exist in an environment that is toxic. And because you exist in such an environment, you become where you sleep, where you speak. You become the conversations. You become the negativity. You become the toxicity. You become who and what and how. You become how. How? Because you are within and you're spending your time around that person, around that environment. That's how. That's the how you become that. The what is what is going on. You become that. Do not stay in negative relationships. It's one thing to say you walk away from it. And I applaud anyone. I've counseled a lot of people, encouraged them, supported them as they journeyed out of negative relationships. But what is difficult to leave behind is the mindset. It, the physical stuff is rough enough as it is already, but it's the mental scars. Bob Marley talks about emancipate yourself from mental slavery. No one else could free your mind. The mental slavery is that what that person can have on you. When they have convinced you that you're ugly, or they convinced you of this or that, or they convinced you whatever, that's that mental chain. That is the most difficult to break when you remain in those relationships for so long, and then those relationships, you become the relationship. So when you walk out of the relationship, which I applaud, you don't always necessarily walk away because of the mental slavery. And there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And I just wanted to talk about that. It's really, really rough to see. It's really rough to see somebody that has been so scarred so badly. And you hear them speak and you look at them, you're like, wow, this relationship really you up. And even though that person is no longer in your life, man or woman, whoever it is, they have done so much damage that it leaves you with a lot of work to do if you're ever truly now going to find yourself. Folks, I know it's not always easy. It's easier said than done. That's the case with a lot of things in life. Easier said than done. That's the case with a lot of things. But if you truly want to experience joy, not even happiness, joy is everlasting. You could be happy today, you could be sad tomorrow. But if you ever want to truly experience joy, you have to walk away. You have to walk away from bad relationships. So if you're already subscribed, thank you for watching. If you're new, please subscribe. Journey to 5,000. Don't forget to hit the like button, share the videos. I would really appreciate it. 2 things I got to ask you at the end of every video. Do something good for someone. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It could be a simple thing, right? Help someone cross the road, give someone $5, help someone to read, cut their yard. Do something good for someone. And the second thing is always try to do good by yourself. Do something good for yourself. If you're in a bad relationship, walk away. If you hate your job, walk away. Find a job, though, before you do walk away, right? Don't just quit and you don't have something else to do. Start working on something else then so that you can walk away. Do good for someone and then do something good for yourself. Till the next time, peace.